guys, 皆様こんにちは。今日は素晴らしい時計を見せたいよ。正直言って、ある日、このモデルを買うことができるのは全然考えなかったんだけど、先週末にチャンスがあった。Okay, enough with my crooked Japanese. I strolled into the main Hong Kong Seiko store last Saturday with my kids in tow, on the way to a playroom, not really looking for anything but as always hoping something unique might be awaiting. Indeed, they had the SBGA211G, the same model that I discussed in a previous video. My first impressions were confirmed. Although the watch is a 42mm, it wears small thanks to the short lugs and chocolate dial color. But I told the salesperson that I loved it, but I really preferred entering the world of Grand Seiko through a high beat or spring drive. To which he replied that a Snowflake had come in the night before. I think he said that the buyer on the waitlist had given up months ago, as the store rarely gets those. The Snowflake is the flagship of Grand Seiko, the first one that not only got a nickname, but got the attention of the watch community and is always in high demand. The watch actually came out in 2010 and had a relaunch with a slight reference number variation in 2017 when Grand Seiko spun off from Seiko, a crucial evolution reflected on the dial with the Seiko logo now gone. Of course, I couldn't let that opportunity pass by. So far my Seiko SARX 055 felt enough, but even though it's 5 times more expensive, this titanium Snowflake dial spring drive wonder had to be mine. I will compare the two watches in the next video, so stay tuned to the channel. 2 days after the purchase, the watch is still within 1 second of accuracy. The 72-hour power reserve indicated on that lovely detailed sub-dial at 8 o'clock has barely budged. The dead silent sweep of the blued seconds hand over that snow-like dial brings me a sensation of calm, like observing a perfectly manicured Japanese garden in the winter, immaculate and unspoiled. That parchment-like dial reflects light in mysterious ways and just draws you in so much that you're likely to forget reading the time and will end up staring at your watch on the subway as if hypnotized. The Zuratsu hand polishing on this high-intensity titanium, which is 30% lighter than steel, shines and dazzles. Seiko adds scratch and corrosion-resistant finish, so you can relax to some extent. This is not gonna be a beater watch anytime soon. The watch feels weightless at 100 grams, a feature that I personally love as I wear my Seiko Shogun all weekend long for that very reason. Titanium is not for everyone. Some enjoy both anchors on the wrist. I prefer comfort. While the watch is a 41mm case, the 45-degree angle bezel aligning with the uppercase flank, which flares out then angles back in, makes it wear like a 39mm watch with a dial of only 32mm. Here is a shot of my favorite angle on the watch case. Grand Seiko cases can be on the thicker side, but here at 12.5mm, I find it perfectly appropriate. Lug to lug, I see around 48mm, 50 if you count the first link, but as the lugs arc down heavily, the watch wears compact on my 17cm wrist. The slightly domed sapphire crystal has clear anti-reflective coating on the underside. At the right angle, you feel like you could touch the dial and trace your name in the snow. The caliber 9R65 is a wonder of the watch world. In a nutshell, the mainspring is wound by natural motion of the user or by hand winding the crown as any other automatic watch, but accuracy is controlled by a microelectronic quartz mechanism while using the unwinding power of the mainspring to move the hands. That true constant motion is such an achievement. The movement behind the sapphire crystal caseback is reasonably finished, but some parts could use more decoration, perlage for example. The rotor and plates have scintillating machine vertical stripes. I guess we can call them Morioka stripes rather than Geneva, since that's in Morioka that these watches are built. And strategically placed apertures offer a window to the gliding wheel. Around that crystal, notice an interesting, pronounced faceted rail track. Back to that fascinating dial. You'd be almost forgiven for not paying attention to those gorgeous gleaming faceted indices and hands, all hand polished, which ensure good legibility even in low light condition. But do note the absence of lume on this watch, which for once I think is for the better. The seconds track appears applied as well between the hour indices, which would be an incredibly fastidious task. All is reflected on the mirror-like rehaut around the dial. Notice another lovely touch at the very center of the dial, a polished cap over the center hub. And gone is the Seiko brand. Only the GS logo and Grand Seiko marquee remain, with lower in blue to tie in with the seconds hand an elegant spring drive designation, all in its right place, perfectly balanced. The bracelet is obviously very comfortable, and you have enough half links to get the right fit. I might take another half link off when I lose a bit of weight and when the weather cools off. For now, this feels nice with a bit of relief. The clasp closes by leaving some aperture so it won't damage the links. It doesn't sit flush with the links like it does on my SAG 055 though. The GS logo is majestically embossed. The links are held by pins, most likely as screws wouldn't be possible with titanium. I would avoid removing those pins myself, as a steel tool might easily damage titanium. Leave it to the Seiko shop. The screwed-in crown that ensures 100 meters of water resistance bears the logo, which doesn't realign in a straight fashion, but rather randomly as you screw it back in. I have to say, unscrewing the crown is a bit unnerving the first time, as it does ratchet quite a bit. Screwing it back makes the same ratcheting noise actually as the winding of the mainspring, a noise typical of spring drive, I believe. Putting the crown to the second position allows quick set of the date, which has a lovely medium-sized font nestled in a classic window. The third position stops the seconds hand for precise synchronization, and you will want to set the time precisely, as it engages you in a game against the atomic clock, which for once you just might win. So far, this watch is dead on, and that's just a thrill for watch geek and a relief compared to all my other watches which need almost daily adjustments. Finally, the box isn't too large or some heavy wooden coffin. I prefer this as I've run out of space for storage after the extravagant Omega and Longines enclosures. The spring drive mechanism is well explained over 6 pages in a small booklet in all languages. I did not get a chronometric certification, perhaps because spring drive doesn't warrant any, unlike conventional mechanical calibers. So is it worth the $5,000 price tag? That's up to you. To me, it was a rite of passage, and I have no regret, as it adds another dimension of prestige to my collection. While this watch inspires serenity, it transcends minimalism by never appearing boring or sterile. 今日、私のビデオを見てくれてありがとうございました。また今度。